In the last committee hearing of this committee, we had asked the BIFAR National Director, well, there was a show cause order because he failed to attend. He failed to inform the committee beforehand of his non-attendance. And his representatives arrived more than half an hour after the designated time of the hearing. And in fairness to the good director, he immediately wrote to this to the chairperson the following day. Is that correct? We received his explanation February 19, 2026, but we'd like to give him this opportunity to explain before this committee. Okay, we'd like to give him the opportunity to explain to this committee his reason for his absence, as well as the cause of delay in our hearings. If I may add, they were not just late, they were also unable to answer our questions. And were not prepared. Kung akala ninyong pwedeng ganito ang asta ninyo sa harap ng komite ng Senado, nagkakamali kayo. At ito'y magsisilbing dapat leksyon sa lahat. Kumbaga sa baseball, naka-strike 3 kayo nung araw na yun. Dapat you're out na. I hope you understand. I have nothing, walang personalan, Director Salilig, pero hindi katanggap-tanggap yung ipinakita ng inyong bureau sa Senado, sa komite, nung nakaraang hearing. That's why you have the opportunity to explain, please.
Morning to our Honorable Chair, Sir Senator Kiko Pangilinan, and then our Sir Erwin Tulfo. Sir, we sincerely apologize sa previous hearing. So this is my answer, my letter address sa inyo. We regret the undersigned official of the Department of Agriculture and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources were able to appear in the hearing called by the Committee on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform on February 18, 2026 due to the following explanation. The department received 3 official invitations scheduled on the same date and time. Senate of the Philippines Committee on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform received on February 13, 2026. Number 2 is House of Representatives Joint Committee meeting on Committee of Agriculture and Fisheries Resources and Committee on Government Reorganization received on February 5, 2026. Number 3 reasons is United States of America Department of State Bureau of Ocean and International Environment and Scientific Affairs received on February 2, 2020. To ensure the attendance of the department in meetings scheduled on the same date and time, the department decided to divide into tasks as follows. The Undersecretary Lucila Esther E. Bayati attended the meeting with the United States of America Department of State presented by Ruth L. Perry, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Ocean, Fisheries and Polar Affairs to discuss international fisheries issues. Second, the National Director, Elizur Isarilik, served as resource person before the House of Representatives Joint Committee meeting on Committee Aquaculture and Fisheries Resources on Committee on Government Organization. 3, Assistant Director for Technical Service Isidro Imilayo Jr. served as resource person before the Senate of the Philippines Committee on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform. Aside from Assistant Director Bilayo, the people regional directors from NCR, CAR, Region 3, Region 4D, and 6 were instructed to attend subject Senate Committee meeting on February 18, 2026. We hope the above explanation merits your consideration. To Sheila Esther Beate and the Secretary, yeah. As, yeah, we sincerely apologize last hearing, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Senator Erwin Tulfo.
Mr. Chair, I will not buy the explanation of BIFAR Director Salilig. Parang ginawa mo ang committee na ito na third priority. Inuna nyo yung sa Estados Unidos kung ano man yung oceanography, etc., worldwide fishing. Tapos sinunod nyo yung House of Representatives. So last priority kami. Is that what you're saying? Correct me if I'm wrong because your explanation, wala ba? Bakit? Ikaw lang ba ang tao? Dalawa lang ba ang director? Dalawa lang assistant director? Nasaan ang iba? Number 3, sinasabi ni Mr. Chair, late pa kayo. Ibig sabihin, wala kayong respeto sa committee na ito. Inuna niyo kung sino-sino diyang mga ahensya dyan, pangatlo lang ang committee na ito. We're talking here, I mean, we're important, we're dealing something important here. Kaya kayo pinatawag. Pagkatapos sasabihin mo yung mga palusot mo na pinapunta ka doon sa Amerika, pumunta si ganito sa House of Representatives, may pinadala ka dito. Bakit? Tatlo na ba ang director na before? Tell me. How many directors or a deputy director, assistant directors you have? Director Salilig, how many?
Dalawa, sir.
Dalawa lang. Wala ka ng ibang mautusan? Wala na ba? Ikaw, saan ka nag-attend?
Your Honor, pagkipengi po ng pasensya sa inyo kasi ganito. First time din ako ng National Director. Hindi ko alam, Your Honor, na nais
Di kaya nga, saan ka nag-attend?
Sir, sa pan po, sa Congress.
Sa-
yung creation,
Sa House of
yeah,
Representatives.
yung creation po ng department.
Sino yung pinadala mo dito?
Yung binasa ko yan, sir, pinadala ko po, sir, yung aming Assistant Director for Technical.
O bakit na late po? Ano nangyari?
And for the information of Senator Erwin Tulfo, dito sa sulat ninyo, hindi kayo nagpaliwanag, ba't kayo late? Hindi nyo binanggit eh. No? Kaya nga kayo na sokos eh, dahil hindi na nga kayo sumipot, late pa kayo dumating. Hindi nga kayo nagpaliwanag. So, go ahead.
Ay, sorry. Hindi namin kanyo yung assistant director, but nagkaroon po kami ng advance communication doon kasi naghalidi po kayo sa Tuesday, di ba, sir? So yun, naghalidi ng Tuesday. Unpredicted po, hindi nila na yung pag-late. But talaga, sir, ang ginawa namin, we divided into 2. So lahat po ng mga director, ng mga senior director namin, dito po namin pinadala sa Senate. Kami namang mga juniors, doon kami sa Congress. Kasi simple yung ating cancer. Thank you so much po sa inyong cancer, yung full support for the creation of Department of Fisheries. Ganun din po yung Congress. So bilang isang naging junior po ng National Director, nag-decide po ako na yung the rest ng mga ibang directors, yung mga juniors, doon kami sa Congress, in support pa rin din sa ating creation of Department of Fisheries. Later na minalaman, sir, na yun pala, sir, pasensya na po sa inyo, sir. We sincerely apologize na dapat pala talaga ang mauna talaga yung Dahis Legislative bago po sila. Thank you po.
Mr. Chair, basing doon sa explanation niya, ang sinasabi ko lamang dito, Director Salilig, next time, use your head. Gamitin mo yung ulo mo. Ano ba itong kuan na ito? Kasi ang dami mo sinabi, nakatanggap ka na sulat dito, nakatanggap ka na sulat doon, nakatanggap ka galing sa United States of America, lumundag ka kagad dahil may nakita kang Estados Unidos. Unahin ba natin yon? Bakit di mo unahin na dito yung hearing na ito? It is very important. Which is more important? That hearing sa ibang bansa na kailangan pumunta kayong tao na nanginginig pa kayo dahil may nakita kayo na bansa na yon? Or itong hearing na ito? Next time, unahin mo ito dito, ha? Unahin mo ito. You hear me? Hindi yung pupunta ka doon dahil nakita mo na may seal ng logo ng Estados Unidos, yun ang unahin mo. Unahin mo dito. Unahin mo.
Yes, sir, noted po. Hindi na mo maulit yun.
And if I may add, next time, pag sumagot kayo, sagutin nyo ng maayos.
Yes, Mr.
Strike
Yes, Mr.
3 na
Chair.
kayo doon sa hearing, strike 4 pa kayo. Sinagot nyo yung show cause order nyo, hindi nyo pinaliwanag, ba't kayo nahuli? Ano ito, kala nyo makakalimutan namin? Pag hindi nyo binanggit, baka sakaling malimot kami. Hindi po kami ganun dito. No?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Hindi naman siguro kayo mga bobo at tanga sa BIFAR. Ano? Siguro may mga ginagamit nyo rin ito. Hindi nyo masagot to, pinapasagot kayo. Wala kayong sagot dyan. Either mahina ang mga ulo ninyo, mga ob-ob kayo, or talagang iniwasan nyo lang, wala kayong palusot. Show cause order, meaning to say, magbigay ka ng dahilan. Wala kang magandang dahilan. Yung dahilan mo lang dahil sabay-sabay yung mga meeting na itinan nyo. Pwede ka ma-contempt, pwede ka makulong dyan sa baba. Wala nang tao dyan, wala nang laman. Meron ba? Nakawala na ba yung tiga custom? Pinakawala natin?
Pinakawalan na na.
O, di wala nang tao doon. Samahan mo yung isang tao doon sa baba. Magkwentuhan kayo maghapon. That's all for me, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Director, Senator Erwin Tulfo. Director Salilig, let this be a stern warning and reminder. No?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair.
And clearly, after this hearing, medyo mag-usap kayo ng mga staff nyo kasi kulang-kulang yung I do not wish to think that the BIFAR is incompetent. No? Kasi ang dami nating issues na nabanggit dun sa show cause, hindi nyo sinagot ng diretso. Prior to that, yung mga pinadala ninyong mga representative, di rin makasagot. Hindi ba? So I hope that this is not an indicator of the incompetence of the Bureau. And if that this is an initial concern of this representation of the chairman, medyo mag-ayos-ayos kayo. Ha? Hindi ganito ang quality dapat ng serbisyo natin sa mga kababayan natin, no? Di ba you took your oath before taking the position?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You should take your oath seriously and to heart, di ba? We serve our people with our utmost, and sa totoo lang, hirap na yung ating mga kababayan eh, di ba? The least we can do is serve them well and with competence. Anyway, we will proceed with the for the information of Senator Erwin Tulfo, we have to go back to the issue of the 15-kilometer municipal waters ruling of the Supreme Court, because as we said earlier, hindi makapagpaliwanag ng maayos yung mga taga-BIFAR at yung legal ninyo tungkol dito sa kasong ito. Hiningi namin yung status, sinagot sa amin, ay dahil it is a pending case sub judice, hindi sila pwedeng mag-comment. Pati yun, contrary to Supreme Court rulings on the matter. So we would like to go back. Ang tanong ni Senator Loren Legarda, bakit hindi nakapag-apela on time, kaya ang ruling ng Korte Suprema ay hindi on the merits because you failed to file the appeal within the reglementary period. And because of this, the ruling became final. Of course, now you were able to file a motion for reconsideration, and it's now pending before the First Division, if I'm not mistaken. So can you give us a status of the case? And a brief description of the facts
Yes, Mr. Chair, good morning.
or narration of the facts.
The Mercedar Fishing Corporation case challenges certain provisions of the Philippine Fisheries Code or Republic Act Information as amended by Republic Act 10654, particularly the role of municipal waters and the 15 kilometers municipal waters limit. The RTC declared these provisions unconstitutional as applied to the petitioner, and the government has elevated the case to the Supreme Court because of implications for fisheries regulation, environmental protection, and the rights of municipal fisher folks. The RTC ruling does not invalidate the fisheries regulatory framework nationwide. Its effect is limited to the parties in the case and does not automatically apply to the other fishing operators. The constitutional issues raised remain pending the final decision by the Supreme Court. Mr. Chair, pwede ko ba ibigay sa aming legal attorney Buason to continue my...
Yes, and I understand Yusek Bayate, you were also a respondent, no? Okay, where is the lawyer? What is your name, sir?
Sir, I'm Juan Guaso po.
Guazon. BIFAR legal or DA legal?
Legal, sir, legal.
Okay. So ano nangyari? Bakit hindi kayo nakapag-file ng appeal? You
Good morning
failed
po.
to file an appeal.
Ganito po.
Were you the handling lawyer?
No po. OSG po. Yung Office of the Solicitor. I can clarify the situation po.
Okay, please.
There are two instances where untimely filing was raised by the petitioner here. Ganito po. Doon sa RTC po, on October 25, naka-receive ng summons ang OSG. Up to November 24 po. On November 10, there was a hearing of TRO. Because meron pong prayer for TRO. So, during the hearing, nag-extension po motion. But then, the court did not rule. So, it was the thinking of OSG that they will be given from November 24 another 15 days. So, but the court give them 15 days from November 10. So ang nangyari po, nagkaroon ng misunderstanding. Kaya nagkaroon po ng declaration of default. Yung pangalawa,
You're saying kasalanan ng OSG?
misunderstanding po siguro. Kasi ang nangyari,
Hindi. Whether it's a misunderstanding or not, who dropped the ball? OSG.
yes,
Because if you say that, patatawag natin yung OSG sa susunod na hearing.
pwede rin po.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
may
go ahead,
interject.
Senator Tulfo.
hindi ba kayo binigyan ng notice? Hindi kayo nakatanggap? Usually kayo yung kuan dito?
Meron po, kaya po
Oh.
nakaka-attend kami ng hearing ng TRO.
Doon yung sinasabi yung misunderstanding, hindi ninyo napuna.
There
Na
was no
kailangan
ruling
kayo
po.
mag-file ng motion kaagad that there's a prescriptive period.
Ang nangyari po on November 24, on the last day, nag-file ang OSG ng motion for extension. But then, on November 29, naka-receive ang OSG na binigyan sila ng 15 days, but the reckoning period would be November 10. Ang nabigyan lang po ng 1-day extension. So, ang nangyari, akala ng OSG, up to December 11. Ganun po ang sinasabi po sa petition for review on certiorari.
So,
Nandoon po yun.
well, offhand,
Mm.
ang tanong ngayon, sinadya ba ng korte ito o hindi? You don't have to answer that. Pero
Opo.
parang questionable rin yung nangyari dun sa korte.
Medyo ganun na nga po ang nangyari. So medyo...
Kasi nagkaroon ng motion for extension, hindi ni-resolve.
Hindi po ni-resolve. Tapos nung November 29,
Oral, ano
oral
yun?
po, oral po. Tama.
Oral argument.
Oral motion po.
Oral motion.
Opo.
Ba't hindi nag-resolve yung huwes?
Ay,
Parang,
ganun po kasi, pasensya na po, I was not there during my...
yes.
during the-
But, as a, in litigation, when there is a oral motion,
Hindi, ganun po.
by and large, it should be resolved by the judge.
Yes, yun po ang regular procedure.
Oo nga.
Opo. Ang another thing po yung dun sa another untimely filing of pleadings, yung nagkaroon po ng December 11 decision ng court, pero prior to that, there was a motion ang OSG which was not ruled. Ang nangyari, merong December 11 ruling ang RTC, nagpa-comment pa on December 15 ang court, which is very irregular. So ang naisip po ng SG, ang magiging last day would be 11 plus 15 days.
Okay.
Mm.
In your
Mm.
motion for reconsideration, did you manifest this in
Yes
your
po.
petition?
Yes po, even in the petition for review on certiorari, nandun po yung mga procedural arguments, procedural regularities.
And it's now pending with the first
I-
division.
Apo. Actually, there is a motion to repair this case to the
And bank.
NBank because this is constitutionality issue.
And that too is still pending with the
Opo.
first division.
At meron po pong mga motion for intervention from the LGU and NGO. Kasi ang nangyari po
Yes.
dito, hindi naman na-impede ng LGU but nandun po sila sa desisyon. Yun ang nangyari. Kaya nagkaroon ng motion for intervention.
Okay, so you think you have a strong case?
I think if it is based on the merits po.
Okay. In the meantime, since you're now here, Director Salilig, ano ang impact nitong kasong ito sa ating municipal waters at yung ating mga fisher folk? Anong epekto nito sa marginalized fisher folk? For the record, kasi wala kayo rito nung huli.
Mr. Chair, ganito. Itong Mercedar naman, sir, hindi naman pwede sa ibang commercial, hindi naman lahat po ay applied. Only Mercedar lang yung may petition. And there is, sir, po sa ating mga municipal fisher folks po, hindi naman sila affected because only Mercedar lang ang allowed to enter the municipal
Hindi
waters.
sila affected sa dokumento.
Yes, sir.
Oh, pero sa realidad, at ito yung sinasabi ng ilang mga kinatawan ng local governments, merong mga commercial fishing vessels na pumapasok sa iba-ibang mga municipal waters. So yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Ito pong issue ng constitutionality is not yet final. But regarding the injunctive relief, ito po ay naibigay dun sa isa lang po, yung Mercedar lang po. At kung makikita po natin sa petition for review, we filed a TRO po para wag din makapasok ang Mercedar, which is still pending. Sa lahat po na yan, hindi pa po sila pwedeng makapasok. Only sa 4 or B,
Sa,
or A. Kung saan po merong permit ang Mercedar. Yun lang po. Pero sa lahat po, pwede pa po silang hulihin lahat.
Sinabi nung mga LGU nung last hearing, bakit hindi daw ito ni-raise yung hindi in-implead yung o hindi naisama o hindi kinwestiyon ng BIFAR na hindi kasama ang mga local governments.
Actually,
What happened there?
Actually, yun na nga po. Kasi ang kino-question lang po nila is Section 4, Section 16 at Section 18 ng provisions ng BIPA ng 10654. Bigla na lang pong nagkaroon ng ruling sa LGU. During the TWG meeting, sinabi ko nga, pwede silang makapag-file petition to annul kasi hindi naman sila impleaded. Pero baka po doon sa motion for intervention, in-erase po ng mga LGU. Kasi hindi naman po sila impleaded. How can be bound by such judgment? Yun po sinasabi ko sa kanila.
Yes, except that shouldn't BIFAR have, yun ang posisyon ng LGUs.
Mm.
Di ba dapat at the get-go, ika nga, sinama na ng BIFAR o kinwestiyon na sa petisyon at isinama na yung mga LGU? Bakit hindi nangyari yun? Parang sinolo ninyo.
Ano po, kasi ang...
Were you the handling lawyer?
Hindi po. Pero
You inherited this case?
kumbaga kami po ay nasa likod lang ng OSG kasi they are the legal counsel of national government.
Yes. Pero bakit? So anong paliwanag na hindi isinama at the get-go from the beginning of the case? Bakit hindi sinama ang mga LGU?
Actually, kasi nga po, number one, hindi sila impleaded. So ang iniisip na siguro ng OSG is ang judgment would be only dun sa provisions ng BIPAR. But sinasabi nga po natin, there are still provisions in the local government code but that can be used by the LGU. Meron po dyan yung Section 31 131 paragraph R, yung still na definition ng municipal waters, magagamit pa po nila yan sa ordinance. Nandun pa rin po yung section 149, still magagamit pa rin po ng hindi po inasel dito sa ano na to declaratory relief.
Okay, so doon tayo sa epekto. Kasi sinasabi ngayon ni Director Salilig, wala daw epekto sa mga municipal waters itong ruling na ito dahil mercader lang ang pwedeng gumawa nun. Yun yung nasa dokumento.
Mhm.
Pero ang sinasabi ng mga local government officials, marami ng ibang commercial fishing vessels ang pumapasok dahil sa ruling na yan. At in fact, ang binigay sa ating datos, mula nung ruling na yan, tumaas ang kita, ang revenue ng mga commercial fishing habang bumagsak naman ang revenue at contribution sa fisheries sector yung mga marginal fishing municipal fishers. So ang tanong doon, sinasabi ninyo walang epekto pero may mga datos na nagsasabi mula nung nag-ruling ang Korte Suprema at pumasok na at pumapasok na according to the LGUs sa last hearing, merong mga commercial fishing vessels na pumapasok na.
Siguro po, Mr. Chair, it's yung information dissemination lang. Pero we will still apprehend them.
Yes, kasi ang sinasabi nila ng mga LGU, dahil may MR pa at hindi pa final and executory, hindi dapat pumapasok itong mga municipal waters, itong commercial fishing vessels.
Tama po.
Ang isa pa nilang sinasabi, meron na kayong equipment para ma-track itong mga commercial fishing vessels, tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero hindi ninyo tinatrack.
Sir, pwede ba magpaliwanag ng aming Assistant
Yes.
Director for Admin?
Kasi sinasabi niyo hindi naman affected. Pero sinasabi naman nung mga LGU at ilang mga marginal fisher folk at pati ang ilang mga NGO na hindi nyo ini-implementa yung tracking na meron na kayong bilyong halagang equipment para bantayan kung pumapasok ba o hindi sa municipal waters itong mga commercial fishing vessels. May data ba kayo?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, pwede ba i-present ng aming Assistant Director?
Mr. Chair, good morning po, Senator.
Sa susunod, Director Elizer Salilig, dapat nag-uusap muna kayo bago, puro kayo repair kasi kung kani-kanino eh. I'm sorry
Pwede ko bang basahin, sir? Meron akong copy din.
Di na, sige na, we'll just have them but next time you prepare, ikaw ang head, di ba? I know you have to rely on your assistants. And that's normal. Pero sa mga ganitong mga malalaking issue, kinakailangan naghahanda kayo. At kung kinakailangan may mga mas komplikadong tanong, tsaka kayo magre-refer. Tapos sasabihin nyo, babasahin nyo. Di ba? Dapat binasa na ninyo yun bago kayo dumating dito para masasabi ninyo, di ba? Sorry, but go ahead, Assistant Director Perez.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. So, while it's true that we have this vessel monitoring system, or what we called IMEMS po, where we track our commercial fishing vessels operating within outside the 15 kilometers. And then, totoo po yun na when there is encroachment of these vessels within the municipal waters po, natatrack po namin yun doon sa system po namin. And if in case that there is encroachment of the commercial fishing vessels po in the municipal waters po, then once we track them, meron po tayong mga patrol boats and patrol MCS vessels po na pwede pong mag-apprehend po doon. Record shows po na
May
meron...
tanong. Sabi kasi ni Attorney Buazon, i-enforce pa rin ninyo. Tama?
Yeah, that's correct, Your Honor.
May nahuli na kayo?
Meron po, sir. If you will take a look on the data of the filed cases received, we have 7,639 cases po ang na-receive po ng BFAR throughout the region. And then settled po
What
is
region? What are you talking about?
Central Region 1, 243. Region 2, 223 cases. Region 3, 835 cases.
Okay. So ang total
And
is
so on. 7,639 cases po,
of,
Mr. Chair.
of encroachment.
Opo, yung mga may mga ano po, may mga kaso po illegal
Kaya
na.
nga, encroachment.
Opo.
These are encroachment into municipal waters, correct?
Hindi lang po siguro encroachment but illegal activities, Your Honor.
Well, we'd like to know whether it's encroachment within the municipal waters or not because precisely yun ang kinireklamo ng mga maliliit na fisher folk na wala na silang kalaban-laban at ang mga LGU nagrereklamo rin dahil nasisira ang kanilang municipal waters dahil sa mga malalaking mga vessels. So kinakailangan maliwanag sa BIFAR yung 7,000, ilan yun ang pumapasok sa municipal waters?
Your Honor,
Right.
unlawful fishing po yung iba dito. So if we will take a look on the data, top 10 violations for 2025 is Section 86, which is 551, Section 113, which is 423, Section 95, 329, Section 120.
So this is the breakdown of the
Yes,
violations
yes, Your Honor.
of specific sections.
Opo.
Ang tanong ko, ilan doon sa mga section na yon ang direktang pumapasok sa municipal waters na 15 kilometers? May data kayo? Kasi doon natin malalaman. Kasi sinasabi kanina ni Direktor, isang kaso lang yun. Ngayon sinasabi ninyo, 7,000 kaso pala yun eh.
As far as our data, Your Honor, is concerned, Section 86 is the encroachment, which is 551 vessels po ang nag-encroach po sa municipal waters po natin. Ito po mga illegal fishing po, Your Honor. Maybe they are using fine mesh or any other or baka po pwede yung
Submit, no? Can you submit
yes po, Your
data?
Honor. We will submit po.
So of the 7,000, what is the bulk of the violations nung 7,000?
I think, Your Honor,
Anong period yung 7,000?
in 2025, Your Honor, Section 86 is 551, Your Honor. For the violation of Section 86, which is the encroachment to municipal waters, is 551, which is the highest violations po of our fisheries code.
Oo nga. So yun ang mga nahuhuli nyo. At nagre-reklamo. Tama?
Ito po yung na-filean po na-receive na cases po natin, Your Honor.
Of course, di natin alam ilan yung mga hindi na-filean ng kaso. Di ba? Meron bang separate na report na sightings based on your equipment, your technology, pero hindi nasampahan ng kaso? Meron ba kayong data ng ganun? Dapat siguro, di ba? Kasi nakita ninyo, nag-encroach. Ando na. May datos na. So, nire-report, nag-encroach. Pero sinampahan ba ng kaso yung lahat ng report na yun? Kasi posible na meron kang 2,000 sightings pero 500 lang ang pinailan ninyo. Is that possible?
I think, Your Honor, it is the and the regional offices or the regional directors po are monitoring all this activity within their jurisdiction.
Yes, but
And,
you answer the question. Is it possible na mate-trace ninyo dun sa technology ninyo na may mga encroachment pero hindi naman sinampahan ng kaso?
We issued a notice of violation if necessary, Your Honor.
You're not answering the question eh. Okay, you issue a notice of violation. Is the notice of violation therefore a complaint? No.
Not yet, Your
Okay,
Honor.
so can you submit to this committee ilan ang notice of violation ang binigay ninyo.
Apo, Your Honor, we will submit po the notice of violation.
So can you give us a ballpark figure? Kasi sinasabi ninyo 500 lang ang, so ngayon hindi na 500 ang encroachment. 500 yung nireklamo. Tama? Pero yung notice of violation, sasabit mo sa amin yung encroachment notice of violation. Kasi gusto natin malaman, baka naman 5,000 yung notice of violation pero 500 lang ang sinampahan nyo ng kaso. I don't know. You give us the data. No?
Yes, Your Honor, we will submit po.
Babalikan ko si Direktor. Sabi ninyo, isang kaso lang. Hindi totoo yun. Hindi apektado, sabi ninyo. If you wanna go back to the transcript, hindi apektado ang municipal waters dahil mercader lang. Pero lumalabas dito, 500 pala ang violation, at least reklamo. So ba't mo sinasabing mercader lang, meron palang 500 encroachment? Can you clarify what you mean, Director Salilig? Want to correct yourself?
Yes, Mr. Chair, i-correct ko na kasi ganito, Mr. Chair. Yung doon sa ating BMAs, by region, meron po kami na establish talaga halos lahat. So,
Halos lahat ng region na established na?
yung BMA, sir, yung sa monitoring system,
Oh, okay.
siguro yung ibang Mr. Chair, Your Honor, baka mayroon kaming hindi na, yung na-capture na hindi po na-file ng cases. Yun po.
Ang tanong ko, sinabi nyo kanina, hindi apektado ang municipal waters dahil isang fishing vessel lang, Mercedar lang. That's what you said earlier. You place on record na hindi apektado ang iba kasi Mercedar lang. What do you mean by that? Because ang tanong ko, marami nang nag-encroach na commercial fishing vessels after ditong ruling ng Supreme Court. At sinabi nyo, hindi po. So maybe you are mistaken because now, maybe you're saying, yung legal na kaso, isa lang. Tama?
Yes,
Yun ang
Mr.
ibig
Chair.
nyo sabihin.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero yung tanong ko na apektado ng maraming municipal waters, hindi isa lang. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mabuting maliwanag yun dahil kanina sinasabi niyo wala. Yung pala, walang ibang commercial fishing vessel na apektado nung ruling. Legally. Hindi ba? Kasi sa kanya lang naka ano, pero maliwanag na marami ng violation because of that. That's what I want to know. Ilang violation na yun? Dahil gusto natin malaman anong nangyayari sa baba na naapektuhan ng ating mga mangingisda na hindi na sila makahuli dahil nakikipagkompetensya na sa mas maraming commercial fishing vessels. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So ano, meron ba kayong datos?
Magsasabit po kami.
Wala kayong information kung bakit, kung merong ngang epekto o wala? Hindi nyo saulado? Since anong taon ito? 3 taon na ito eh. Di ba dapat meron kayong datos after 3 years, ano epekto ng commercial vessels na pumapasok? Yes.
Mr. Chair, if you allow me to
Yes, go ahead.
give you the total production, it states that in 2023, the municipal is the production of municipal is higher compared to commercial po. So
Right.
if you will take a look on the municipal production, that is 1.1 million metric tons, while commercial is only 870 metric tons. And for 2024, we have 900, yung municipal po natin, sudden bumaba po siya, which is 969,000. While the commercial po, still same lang po ng 868. For 2025, tumaas po ang municipal po natin last year, which is 928,000 metric tons, compared to commercial of 849,000 metric tons po, Your Honor. Thank you.
Is that PSA data?
Yeah, that's correct, Your Honor.
So bakit
This is,
iba yung data namin sa data ninyo? PSA din ito.
this is a Philippine Statistic Authority data, Your Honor.
Oh,
While the aquaculture, Your Honor, it's 2.2 million metric tons po, Your Honor.
sinasama niyo yung aquaculture, hindi naman apektado nung...
No, Your Honor. The aquaculture is 2.2 million, while municipal is 900. Commercial is 849,000 metric tons. Municipal of 928,000 metric tons, and the aquaculture is 2.1 million metric tons, Your Honor.
Yes, but this is accurate. Okay. Well, we will have to reconcile your data with the data that we have been able to gather. Kasi dito, PSA data shows from 2023 to 2025, the value of marine municipal fisheries production declined by approximately 17.97 million. Inland municipal fisheries production declined from 175,351 metric tons in 2022 to 166,000 metric tons plus in 2024. On the other hand, commercial fisheries production increased by 5.6% from 2023 to 2024 following the December 2023 RTC ruling. Oh, so yung data ninyo hindi... So, ma'am, can you place it on record? We have the same data.
And when you said, Your Honor, in 2023 is commercial is 822,000 metric tons. And then in 2024, it's 868,324 metric tons. Yung municipal natin is 1,054,000. At noong 2024, bumaba siya sa 969. Pareho.
So, bumaba nga. Hindi tumaas. Bumaba.
Sa 2024, Your Honor, meron pong pagbaba po ng 2024 ng 900, from 1 million, naging 969 po.
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, may I? Anong reason bakit nag-decline? Okay, is it safe to say dahil pumasok na sa municipal waters yung commercial fishing, kaya bumaba? What is the reason? Or hindi ba kayo nagtaka? Bakit bumaba ito? O hinayaan nyo lang?
No, Your Honor. I think because of the high fuel price po, ang nakaapekto talaga dito yung pag-ano po ng mga commercial natin. Kasi if you will take a look on the
Difference ng presyo ng crudo between 2024, 2023, and 2025. Malaki ba?
malaki na po Your Honor yung
Well,
ano
can
yung
you submit
increase po.
to this committee yung presyo at those times?
Apa. We will submit, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, may I have another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Doon po sa 500 na kinasuhan na ninyo, ano na status? May disposition na ba ang korte o nandun na nakatengge sa korte? What's the status?
It is filed in the adjudication committee, Your Honor. Ongoing po ang ano natin ang proceedings po with the adjudication committee. Ang adjudication committee, Your Honor, are the ones who try the case of the administrative cases of our commercial fishing vessels violations of 10654.
2025 sabi mo, di ba? 500. 2026 na tayo ngayon. Sa adjudication committee pa rin. Hindi gumagalaw. Wala pang desisyon.
I will look into the details, Your Honor, if what happened to other cases. Pero po ang cases po kasi dito, Your Honor, ongoing po kasi, Your Honor, yung ano natin, yung proceedings po sa adjudication committee.
Aba, Assistant Director Rosaldi Perez, kung ganyan, wala kayong kuan, matatambakan kayo na matatambakan ng kaso na wala pa kayong result after 1 year And then all you're saying, you keep on pushing it to the adjudication committee. Anong ginagawa ng adjudication? Bakit wala pa ring result? Over one year na po yan. 26 na tayo ngayon. Wala pang resulta. Sasabihin mo pa, nasa adjudication pa rin. Mabagal.
Your Honor, if you will going to take a look on the cases submit or receive of the 2025 po, 1,225. Ang settled po is 1,125 and dismissed po is 16. I cannot quantify, Your Honor, as to the number of dito pong 551. So I will just take a look on the data, Your Honor, para po mabigay po namin sa inyong konkreto. Thank you.
Isa pa, Mr. Chair. Alam mo ba, Mr. Chair, na sa GAA merong 1.41 billion pesos na funding na ibinigay po sa inyo ng gobyerno for monitoring and surveillance. You know that, right? 1.41 billion for 2026 GAA. How are you spending it? At anong ginagawa ho ninyo? Saan napupunta itong pera na ito? Kasi kung hindi, kung ganito ang resulta ninyo, sasabihin nyo out of the 7,500 lang ang ganito ganun, di ba? Parang sobra-sobra yata. Bawasan siguro namin sa susunod. Gawin na lang natin siguro baka siguro 500 million, bawasan natin ng kalahati. Saan napupunta ito?
Your Honor, as to the 1.4 billion pesos, it is pertaining to the Fisheries Regulatory and Enforcement Program of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, and it pertains to the operation and maintenance of our center, operation and maintenance of our multi-mission vessels, po, Your Honor, the fuel of our multi-missions vessel, and then of course the patrol boats, the operation po of the vessel monitoring system, and of course the conduct of seaborne and the land-based fisheries resource protection group, Your Honor. And of course, included here is the operation of harmful algae bloom or the red tide po, Your Honor.
Kaya nga, Assistant Director Perez, so you have this X amount of money. Kanina pa binabanggit yung monitoring. Hindi ba kasama sa monitoring yan, yung mga encroachment? It's part of that, right? Tama,
That's
mali.
correct, Your Honor.
Oh,
Yung ano po, yung meron po kasi tayo, Your Honor, na operation of vessel monitoring system, which is the IMEMS of I think if I'm not mistaken, it's 300 million pesos for the sustainability plan of this system, Your Honor. And then the rest po are for the dry docking and repair of our MCS patrol vessels, which require po ng medyo malaking funding po. And at the same time po, yung fuel po natin, Your Honor, pagdating po doon sa mga nagko-conduct ng seaborne patrol operations po ng vessel po natin throughout the Philippine waters po.